Shubor nakaslem jong nongsan Hima.
Nongïalam ka All India Congress Committee badai pet ya kajala Meghalaya Manish Chatrath negasngi ka khadwai tarik ukala lengkot arhajar arpuai ulai kenduk kerpang ya Nongïalam ka Seng Congress jong kajala hanong ba Shillong. Hakane ki jingelang ladon rekat langru UMP ka Seng ba Vincent H Pala Nongïalam ka Liang Persha Dr. Mukul Sangma President ka Meghalaya Pradesh Congress Committee Dr. Celestine Lengdo ki MLA ki MDC bat ki wei de ki Nongïalam. Nakliang Manish Chatrath bai keren bet ki nong tho kubor ulapan pau ba ka jingwan jung sya ka jala kalong bani kendu ki Nongïalam ka Seng ki nong mikmat knang ba untip na ka constituency ayu ki mikmat bat bani keren ru alor kimat ki badon kam man penklain ya ka Seng. Susu ulai thuru mana kaliang ko jung unsanang Ïakynduh ya ki Nongïalam jong ka Seng hakini kisngi ki banwan ru kumju.
First time that after he being appointed as in charge of Meghalaya, last time he wanted to come, but he could not come because of Ahmed Patel's death and Tarun Gogai's death. He could not come. We postponed it. So this is the first time he's come. He's trying to meet everyone. Number one, to know every MLAs, every office bearers, MPCC office bearers and the district president, and also he's meeting today and tomorrow. And number two is that to feel the pulse. What is the issues we should take? Because this time I think we are going to work for election much in advance compared to every time. When I came from Delhi today, I was coming to him. He said that we should prepare this time. We should not work only during the election. So a series of the agitations of the farmers all over India we are going to do against the price rise, farmers' problem, this and that problem. So I think we are meeting, and then first only for that purpose. They will give a press conference tomorrow. The real issues after then they'll give. So that's the main intention of the meeting. I welcome any decision taken by the EICC. The views of the MLAs will be carried over to the High Command to be in charge. So whatever the AIC takes a decision, I think I will come to the decision. But to clarify this is that it's not that the term of the president is over. Normally, when a president is appointed, so it depends on the circumstances. If he resigns himself, then it's over. Otherwise, we don't have election. So his term will continue until unless a further order. So that the term is over does not matter. I think we should not misunderstand that his term is over. Bachal's called me. He told me, there's no denying the fact. But I told him, see, MP's decision is not the decision of the party. This is a big decision. So whatever the party decides, I think the in charge will take to the High Command. Whatever they decide, I am with anybody. I have no problem, because in my election everybody works. It's not that only this man or that man. So I will come. I'll be very happy, but I'll come because he's a competent, who has experience. I told him I have no problem with this. I'll be happy. Last time PDF came. This time I think some new party should come also, I think. Because we have here very competent politicians. So every competent politician will like always to have his own control, own party. So I think, but for the benefits of the state, I don't think that will help, because I've seen these smaller parties or regional parties have the tendency of more corruption than the national party, because there's no control. If you look even at present, the corruption is increasing. There's no way that it's decreasing. So if you ask me, I think smaller party I don't really appreciate. So, but the mandate given by public, that's more important. It doesn't depend on me. It depends on the public. Maybe the public than a smaller party also, because depend on the area, and most importantly upon the face value of the politicians or the candidates and the leader of the party. Congress is a big family. Congress is a big family. Like what I said, we in the church, you see, disintegrations always happen because of competency of the leaders and difference among the leaders. So I think it will not affect much the Congress. We may have a setback if this happens before the election. Like last time we had a setback because it happened just before the election. But this time I think we learned the mistakes. I don't think the Congress will. Whoever try to do good, that I think they'll make a big mistake this time. It's not like last time. I say I don't go by the pressure. We as a leader, we should also see what is the benefits of the people. If the pressure is for the benefits of people, definitely we have no problem. We'll go along with it. But if the pressure is for something, you see, one thing we should realize that in the present generation, number one, we need indigenous people to be protected. Congress is always in protection of indigenous, be it from Iraq and be it from Rajiv Ji, be in the last 6 will come during the Congress. All institutions, big institutions come during the Congress. So Congress is, with no doubt, the stand of Congress will be in the CAA. Stand is to protect the people, number one. Number two, we have also to look into the circumstances. For example, coal is no more, and then even the limestone is restricted. So the livelihood of people, the employment will be based on the tourism.
Are in charge, and when we say are in charge, mean he represents the Honorable Congress President, and after he has been vested with this responsibility, December was the month when he wanted to pay a visit. In fact, though he has visited Shillong and Meghalaya a number of times earlier in different capacity, but as in charge, it would have been a maiden visit. But we somehow deferred the timing, so he has indicated that January first fortnight will be more appropriate, and therefore he is here with all of us. We'll interact, we'll follow up with number of issues which are before us, the issues pertaining to the issues at the national level, the issues pertaining to the issues which are of regional nature, meaning the northeastern issues pertaining to different parts of the northeastern region, and also the issues pertaining to the state of Meghalaya, vis-a-vis our political strategy, which of course we will not share with all of you. But obviously, as a party, how we respond to a given situation and fulfill our purpose as responsible political party. Every political party in our given democracy is required to keep the larger interests of the people and the state. I have been in circulation for a long, long time. I have been in the party, and I have been privileged to be the member of the CLP who has been vested with the responsibility of leading the CLP. And with all my wherewithal, I know who is doing what. Okay. I know whose intentions are what. Simple. Okay. But as I have said, we know how to navigate as a party, as an organization. And we will be confronted by challenges. There is no shortcut in politics. No shortcut in building a political party. Therefore, we know what to do. As I have said, we know how to navigate during the most challenging circumstances. In other words, you have to understand one thing. Other political parties will always have their agenda to weaken Indian National Congress. It is their agenda. It is expected. That's why you saw one of our elected members, the member of the CLP, who fell victim and resigned from the membership. Okay. Ultimately forcing a by-election to fill up the vacant post. So these are already something which we have seen. So there is this attempt from the very beginning, from the day one. So that's why I'm saying the attempt will go on, but we know how to navigate. We know how to keep our fold together, and we know what to do when elections are near. This is 2021. We have only this year. Next year will be more or less like an election. So we are prepared. If the elections are held now, we are prepared. If elections are held next year, we are prepared. Of course, if the elections are held in 2023, after the end of the 5 years normal term of the House, then we are prepared. And we know what's there in the mind of the people. We know what's the narrative. We know what is the conversation going on amongst the people, among different section of people. We are connected with different sections of people across the diverse section of the people of the state. So as a party, therefore, we strategize and we know how to navigate. In 99, our one of the very senior leaders who is no longer with us, who have been groomed and nurtured by the party, left the party, floated a new party. So there was a kind of a situation where people thought, okay, Naya party nikla hai, a new party has come. What will the fate of the Congress? We remain. We have withstood the test of time. In 2018, people who were in the government, friends, my colleagues in the erstwhile government, who had the privilege of being in the cabinet for almost 5 years and preceding that also, they left us. So these kind of challenges will always unfold and confront every political party, not just Indian National Congress. It will confront every political party at one point or other. These are expected line of challenges which we are always prepared to face and somehow know and prepare how to, navigate during that kind of challenging situation. So we know how to navigate. We have an inherent strength as an organization. So I have said also earlier, leaders will come and leaders will go, but Indian National Congress shall remain. Okay, it's as simple as that, and I want to be as blunt as this. When a commitment and assurance is given in the floor of the House, it's not only to the elected representative, but to the people whom we represent, to the people of the constituencies whom we represent. It's a commitment and assurance to the people of the state. Now it is their duty to fulfill this responsibility, to prevail upon Government of India, to ultimately say that yes, they have been sincere in pursuing what they have promised. I have said it earlier. That's why in last winter session, in the month of December, you have seen this issue was raised by our members of the CLP and to draw the attention of the government, because we were promised in 2019, in the month of December. And what was the promise? I think you have to only review. You have to only reconnect with that statement, with that assurance, with that smile. That only one word has to be entered into the amendment. I think that was the assurance. So I think people have to revisit that assurance and then see that the government, whatever the promise has been made, are kept. You have to promise only when you have the commitment and conviction to fulfill it. And that is what we have been saying. And we are not playing for the gallery. And we are not going to go by what others say. We have demonstrated our conviction and our stand in the floor of the House. So we don't have to be told what to do. Okay, we know what to do as a political party, as a responsible elected representatives.
In the first place, there is no tenure as such that a PCC president should be 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Accordingly, it is not wise to say that my term has come to an end. In the recent past, I was a bit busy with my family. Means my mother was sick, so I was busy. I was not free for the party activities. So it depends on the AIC to decide about to keep me, continue as the president, or to replace me. Right now, there is no urgency because we don't have any election or any urgency as such. It depends on how the party functionaries decide. To be a president is not because I wish or I don't wish. It depends on all the members of the Congress to decide.
Coming and going is part of politics. Some people go, some people join. So that is the ongoing process. So I don't see it as a very big issue. We'll be meeting again tomorrow in PCC and discussing what needs to be done to strengthen further. And obviously we need to hold some protests, some demonstrations in the capital. So we will be discussing on that. This, but yes, elections do take place. When elections take place, some next person joins in. The government of the day, it has to function for 5 years. Let them function for 5 years. And when the election comes, let people decide. And we will come back. So it's not a matter of that 3 years we have to go back. No, it's not like that. What has happened in the past, it's not important to have now, to take place now also. So please, get your facts clear. It is a political party which was there, which is there, and which will always remain there. Colleagues, my family in Congress, that is the only purpose of the visit. Since the time I became in charge, I had not visited due to COVID and other activities in Delhi. But now I have come here to meet my family, Congress family. Discussions, political discussions is an ongoing process. It keeps on going on throughout the 5 years. Whether you're in power, whether you're in opposition. There is nothing like this. I don't know where it has come from. There is no discussion on this. I'm just meeting and getting to understand each everyone because I do know most of them. So I'm just meeting them and understanding who's the MLA, who's first timer, who's from which constituency, and I'm just meeting my colleagues. Definitely, it is going to take some time. Organization has to be geared up for elections. We have to be ready for that. And still, the organization in Meghalaya, I would say, is very good. We have a good cadre. We have a good team out here. But obviously, organization has to be strengthened day in, day out.